Hey guys, please ignore the messy background, but today I wanted to do a tag video and I wanted to do the Sims book tag because I've done the makeup book tag recently and I really enjoyed that, so I thought maybe I could do another book related video. So if you like it, let me know by liking this video. If you think it's rubbish, there will be another beauty or makeup video next week or later this week for you. So let's start off with the questions. The original Sims is the best author debut, and I don't really know anything about that. I don't look up how many books an author has published and stuff like that, but one that came to my mind, which is I think actually the only book that this person did, and it's just one of my all-time favorite books, like one that I will reread again and again. And that is Perks of Being a Wallflower. So I don't know whether this would count, but I think it was his first book. He did a lot of like screenwriting and stuff like that, I think. But yeah, this is the one. Stephen Chbosky, Perks of Being a Wallflower. If you don't know what this is about, where have you been? Read it, watch the movie, whatever. But don't bother me. Next question is Grim Reaper, the saddest character death. And I know many people said things from Harry Potter and stuff like that because, you know, spoilers and stuff. But I chose another series, which is The Lord of the Rings. And this is because this was actually the first time I cried in a book. Now, this is The Return of the King. And in the end of this freaking book, Gollum dies. And he is one of my favorite characters from that whole series. I know that this might be a little bit weird, but when I was around 12 years old, this was the character that I related the most to for some reason. I don't know why, but I just always felt like he's, you know, like a victim of this whole war, and he obviously did stuff wrong in his life, but mainly because of the impact of the ring, so it wasn't really his fault. And I mean, there is this scene with Gandalf where he says to Frodo that you don't go kill people if you're not able to bring people back to life, because that's not your choice to make, and that you never know which role the character will play in the end. And I mean, this whole series wouldn't work without Gollum. So he is a central part of this, and I loved him. And I think the ending is so sad. I just cry every time. We went to see Lord of the Rings in concert, which is basically the movie. So we watched the last movie and they played the music live, which is so good. It was such a nice experience, and it just reminded me of how sad this book made me when I was a child. Next question is Sims getting stuck, a character that just got in the way. So a character that I would have preferred just, you know, gone, that I really didn't need, is Mel from the Krisha trilogy. He's like, I mean, I don't like Alina, to be honest, but I feel like without Mel, maybe she would have been a cool character, like maybe she would have done stuff differently. And I feel like I just really don't like these kind of characters. I don't like the kind of, well, we've been best friends all our lives, but now that someone is actually romantically interested in you, I realize I love you. Like, I just hate that so much. So much, because that's pure jealousy, and you should realize when you love someone without being jealous. So I just hate that whole kind of character, what do you call that, trope. So yeah, I hated Mel and I just wish he wouldn't be in that series. Next question, Simlish, a book with amazing writing, and let's just appreciate how much we all love Simlish as a language. It's so cute. So I chose A Little Nothing by Marisa Silver. This is a book I just read recently and it really stood out to me with the writing. This was in the Moth Box of April or March, I don't really know. Yeah, I love this book so much. It's super pretty, but the writing just is so amazing. Like, this is kind of like a magical realism book because there is some weird stuff happening that doesn't get explained, but the writing is so brutal, like raw and honest, and I don't know, it captivated me from the first moment. And even though you're like, well, this doesn't really make sense, like this is just weird, still the writing keeps you interested and keeps you reading on and really intrigued. So that one was great. Expansion packs, a series where the books kept on getting better. Now this practically never happened to me. I feel like sometimes, books do get better, but there's always a point when, it goes downhill. Like with the Harry Potter books, I love the third one the most. I like the fourth one and the fifth one, but then I just really didn't like the last book. So that's always a tough question for me. So I chose Game of Thrones by George R. R. Martin. Just because I've only read the first 3 books of the English kind of order. So right now they kept getting better and better, but I've heard that the 3rd book's actually the best one and then it goes down a little bit again. So I have not reached that point yet. So I'm going to say this series. Yeah, I feel like you need a lot of time to really get into it, to get to know the characters a little bit. And so I feel like right now I'm at a good point and the ending was like amazing, like such a major cliffhanger. And I'm afraid to read on because I've heard that they're not as good anymore. I don't know, but I will someday read the next book, I promise. Sims Romance, the worst case of insta-love. Now, I don't really read romances, so I don't really have a good answer for that. But the one I chose, which is probably not insta-love per se, but it's just like the weirdest relationship, is from Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children. I haven't finished the series yet. I still have to read the last book of it. But there is this weird relationship between the main boy, what's his name? Jacob, and this one girl that was in love with his grandfather. And that is just like, that is the weirdest thing for me. Like, I mean, I do understand that there has been a lot of time between these 2 relationships. And maybe he is very similar to his grandfather. And I do understand why she likes him, but I don't quite get why he likes her when he knows that she was with his grandfather. That's a little bit weird. So yeah, I would say this is just a relationship that I think is quite unnecessary and that kind of put me off a little bit. But I don't know whether you could call that insta-love. I mean, it happens quite quickly, really though. Like there's, but yeah, I don't know. I don't really read so many romances. Next book, again, something I had to think about a little bit. Cheats, a contemporary book that was entirely unrealistic. Now, I don't really read a lot of contemporary books, and the ones I read are usually more like literary fiction, so they are usually quite good and they make sense. But one thing that came to my mind was Everything Everything by Nicola Yoon, which is a cute book. It's a cute romance, I get that. I flew through that book, I think it's adorable. I think the ending is very problematic, but other than that, I just had these moments when I was like, nope, that doesn't make any sense. Like, this is unrealistic. And I have to say, looking back from the end, you're like, okay, well, yeah, maybe this could happen. But then again, no. like, I think it's just unrealistic. And yeah, like, from many points of views, I just, don't know. Next one, Needs Fulfillment. A character who made all the wrong decisions. And for that, I have 1 book, but maybe 2 characters, which is the 5th Harry Potter, The Order of the Phoenix. For one, there's Umbridge, which just made all the wrong decisions in the way that we all know how this turned out, and it wasn't so good. So yeah, her on one side, but also Harry in this book is rather annoying, but you know, he's going through a lot. I can understand, but he is annoying, and he does make some really bad decisions that really lead to a lot of shit happening. So here's my Harry Potter pick for this tag. Error Code 12, a series that started off great but went downhill from there. Now, I could mention a whole ton of series for that. I don't read so many series just because, you know, I'm not really into that. But for one thing, there is City of Bones, whole Mortal Instruments thing. Yeah, I like the City of Bones. I think the twist at the end was very well done. But from that point onwards, it was just like, we can't be together, but we have to be together. But we can't be together, but we have to be together. So yeah, that, like, don't get me started on the 4th and the 5th book. That was just, I was in pain reading those books. They were so boring. But I have to finish series. I just can't leave things unread. So I did that. Yeah, that would be one example. And I think this is the last question. The Sims Vortex, a book/series that completely engrossed you. And I chose Unwind by Neil Shusterman. This is a book that just captivated me. Like, I could not stop reading this. I was not expecting to love this. I was not expecting to be so drawn into this book. Like, I remember reading it at my boyfriend's place with all his roommates across me, shouting things, doing things, TV on, you know, preparing food, stuff like that. And I was just sitting there reading. And they were probably like, who is this crazy chick? Like, what's wrong with her? But I just could not stop. I had to finish this book. I just couldn't. And yeah, so this Unwind, if you haven't read it, do it. Like, the other books in the series are okay. And I liked the kind of twist that the whole thing got. And I love Lev, I think he's called. Is he called Lev? This would be this tag. If you do love The Sims just as much as I do, I would really appreciate a comment, because then we can chat about how amazing this freaking series is. My favorite game is Sims 3. I love it to pieces. I know that it's not perfect, and I still haven't got a computer that can actually play it. So I have a version on my laptop, which is just the base game and 2 add-ons, which is not satisfying at all. But I just love this game so much. Yeah, it's just perfection in my eyes. Sims 4 I still haven't really gotten into. Like, there are some cute bits here and there, but it's nothing that is relaxing to me. Like, I feel like The Sims 4 is actually draining. Like, I play it for an hour and then I'm like, okay, that's enough. I just can't deal with anything else. While with The Sims 3, I can play it for a whole day and I will feel so relaxed. And it's just the best. So let me know what your favorite Sims game is, or maybe your favorite add-on, and I will talk to you soon. Bye!